Okay, next update on this bypass that may happen or may not. Um, I I would like to have it done, and I feel very strongly that I'm going to have something get in the way, like I'm not going to be approved by insurance or something stupid like that, even though I should technically, no problem. Um, so I saw the nutritionist for the first time, and I am a challenge. Um, I I expected more pushback. I really did. I mean, I really did. I really thought I was going to have, okay, well, you still need these numbers and you still need this and that because, again, um, I have eating disorder behavior. And once it clicks in, I cycle through eating disorders. Um, so my big thing is I get obsessed with numbers. So like, if I'm supposed to have a 1,200 calorie diet or something, which I'm definitely not, but if I ever was, I'm like, I want 1,200 on the button. And so I was explaining this to the nutritionist. It was talk. Now you do this paperwork ahead of time, and she like barely glanced at it. I guess it's sort of like a framework to get you thinking about what you should be doing. Um, I think it's I don't know, just to hit all the points. If somebody's not talking, they can just go through everything on this because it'll ask things like, when were you the healthiest? What what do you like to eat during the day? What do you like to drink during the day? What is your that sort of thing. Um, it was really hard for me to fill that paperwork out. I got to tell you, I think I tried 5 times, and finally, I just because yeah, I wanted to go overboard with filling it out, but I put down the most basic answers. I mean, I did it. Um, she never even looked at it until the very end. She glanced over it and said, "Oh yeah, we covered everything." So it was a pretty long appointment. It was like 45 minutes. That was longer than I expected. I really thought I would come in and she would be like, "Okay, so now this is your calorie thing, and this is how you use my fitness pal, and this is what I'd like to see for you, and this is what your plan is." And none of that. She pulled it all. She's not, again, that was my cat. They're not trying to dictate. I was really surprised. I was really, really surprised. And actually, the first thing she asked me was, "How are you feeling?" And I said, "Well, actually, it's been pretty bad for this medication that you guys prescribed." And she's like, "Well, why are you taking it?" I'm like, "Because you prescribed it. Hello." Um, and, yeah, so she did want to hear all the information. And she said, "Okay, this is from me alone." She said, "Oh, you're a rules follower." I was like, yeah. She's like, "Oh." So, I mean, I guess there is a category that they can put me in. Like, this is the type of eater you are. And she said it was uncommon for her to run into things like this, but she took it as you know, as a challenge she was up for. Um, so what I'm supposed to do is continue to cut back with the goal of eventually stopping drinking Diet Pepsi, which means at some point I'm going to have a massive caffeine headache. Um, I'm supposed to eat protein with every meal. My goal is 60 to 80 grams of protein. She wants me to get used to that because that is the goal. Apparently, it will be something like that in that range after the surgery. And So she just wants me to get used to eating about that much every day. She wants me to not graze and to attempt to eat 3 meals, which actually I've got a work schedule that makes that really difficult. Um, usually I'm like on call for during my job, so most of the time I don't get a specific distinctive lunch break. Um, she said that I should try to focus on fruits and vegetables and protein, and try to bring healthier type snacks to work to eat. And that's it. Um, like I said, I was expecting a strong, like, this is what you need to do. Dun, 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 dun. It wasn't like that at all. So she's very cognizant of the eating disordered past, and is very cognizant about not wanting to trigger that, which, because I mean, the thing is that you're going to have like basically eating disordered eating, at least heading up to and right after the surgery when you go on a liquid diet. And from then on, she's like, okay, well, if I have the problem with, if I am caused to vomit because of having such a small amount, small stomach, especially in the beginning, it's really super common when you're learning what you can and can't do, and before things have sort of healed. I mean, that's the thing, is that you've got to get food through and next to a wound. It's very common. She's like, okay, well, if you do that, is that going to trigger you to become like actively bulimic? And I'm like, no, because like if I get stomach bug or something like that, it doesn't trigger it at all. It's more like if I break the rules. So if I'm on, like, when it clicks in my head, if I'm on like a super restrictive thing, and I break my own rules that I've set for whatever reason, if it's either calories or I can't eat this type of food, whatever crazy thing. Oh, not supposed to, well, attempt not. She says, this is the other thing, is it's okay not to be perfect, but should not drink alcohol. Same thing, empty calories, and trying to cut carbonation completely out of my life. Anyway, this is kind of all over the place because it's boggling to me, because again, I'm just waiting for the next shoe to drop, of them to say, oh yeah, but yeah, good try, but no, you actually can't get this surgery. It's going to be terrible. But if that's the case, that's the case. Yeah, so in a nutshell, that's it, is that I'm to try to do those things. Eat in specific meals. Maybe a few snacks, but don't eat constantly. Cut carbonation. Cut liquid calories, which I don't really. Anyway, I'm like totally addicted to Diet Pepsi. Like seriously, and have a few beers every once in a while. That's about all I drink that has calories. I don't drink coffee hardly ever, and when I do, I drink it black, which is probably why I don't drink coffee hardly ever. I don't know. It went better than I expected, and I could see that she was pulling herself back. But the only numbers I was given, again, was try to get in 60 to 80 grams of protein a day, and I wasn't required to track my meals, basically because I could just, like, off the top of my head, this is what I ate, this is what I ate, knew exactly what I ate. That is the eating disorder. It never sort of leaves. Anyway, better than I expected. My next appointment is with a surgeon, where we're going to go over what type of surgery I should be aiming for. Because there are three. There's the sleeve, where they basically cut off a hunk of the stomach. There's the bypass, which is they section off a section of the stomach, attach it a little bit lower to the intestine. So it's a bypass, but all the rest of the organs are kept there. Like the rest of your stomach is still kept inside. And then there's the duodenal. That's the wrong word. Switch. The switch. I don't know what that is. I wouldn't be eligible for that anyway because that is a secondary operation if one of the first two don't work. I am definitely leaning toward the bypass. I've got to talk to the surgeon. But the reason I would want the bypass is one, I do have pre-diabetes, and that's the best surgery for diabetes. And two, it doesn't, you don't get reflux with it. And with a sleeve, you can get really bad reflux. And my mother had horrible reflux. My son has reflux. I avoided it, but if it's a genetic thing, I don't really want to do something to make me get. Ugh. And three, and actually this is a big one for me, is that the organs are still there. So if, say, 25 years from now, I'm having a problem with getting enough nutrition and eating enough. I mean, that's possible. It's what happens when you get older, supposedly. That it could be reversed. And so, if I have the opposite problem where I need more food and more nutrients, it could be reversed. And, and again, I'm doing this for my health, totally. So, if, I don't want to do something that would make me less healthy. To that, the nutritionist is going to talk to the people about this metformin prescription that I put on that is just wreaking havoc still in my life, and see about maybe completely dropping it. And because it wasn't like, oh, it's not like that, it's not like the injectable, which, by the way, people have very severe side effects of that too, but the injectable also has a pretty huge weight loss component. This doesn't. It does a little bit, but not really. I did lose like 4 pounds in a month. That's nothing for me. I can gain and lose 4 or 5 pounds a week. That's average. Very common for me. So effectively that wasn't negligible. The other thing that the nutritionist said was that she thinks that I have a very realistic idea of what would happen with this. That I'm not expecting to be like suddenly like a bombshell skinny person at all. It's not that at all. The thing is, I just need to get enough weight off to be healthy. And I need to do it in a way that's not going to cause me to go crazy with the eating disorder, which in theory, and she agrees, this would help that. Because once I've had a much smaller stomach created, I would have an absolute limit. And I wouldn't have to sit there and go, okay, I'm going to work out exactly how much 120 calories worth of this food is. And, have it be completely arbitrary that this is how much I'm going to eat and stop, because I wouldn't be able to go past that. The issue will be eating enough and not under eating going forward, especially for me. So that's what's going on. with that appointment. Again, the next one is to see a surgeon, just like really real. Anyway, keep making the videos. Still don't know if I'm going to post them.